Good morning, y'all. Happy Thursday morning. So, I'm assuming y'all remember the story of the three little pigs. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down, right? Okay. Don't you like being threatened? Not even vaguely, just outright threatened by the man who is supposedly the leader of the country? Some leadership, right? Let me ask you this. Every time there is a school shooting, a mall shooting, a workplace shooting, or whatever, what's the very first thing we hear? Well, the FBI checked his social media account, and this is what this person distributed on Facebook or Twitter or whatever it will be, right? And of course, it's always hindsight is 2020. Well, we saw this after he did it. Okay. Nobody ever, even people that are under suspicion, they don't even watch or react or anything like that to these maniacs out there. The only time we ever hear of a bad guy getting stopped, it's when a good guy with a gun happens to be on the premises. Do we ever hear a story about the FBI catching somebody before they did something? Oh, once in a blue moon, not very often. So why is it that when somebody can blatantly come out and threaten the public of the United States, there's nothing going on? No arrests, no inquiries, no nothing. Let me read you a couple of quotes. For those brave right-wing Americans who say it's all about keeping America independent and safe, if you want to fight against the country, you need an F-15. You need something a little more than a gun. Or maybe this one. Those who say the tree of liberty is watered with the blood of patriots, a great line. Well, it's also patriots and tyrants, okay. A great line. Well, guess what? The fact is, if you're going to take on the government, you need an F-15 with Hellfire missiles. There's no way an AK-47 is going to take care of you if you're worried about the government knocking down your door. Idle threats or lightly veiled threats. So what these comments tell me, and in case you didn't know who said this, this is your illustrious, fraudulent president, okay? This is basically coming out and saying, I'm going to do whatever I want, and if you don't like it, you can't fight back. You don't have the tools. This wasn't just said during the campaign. This wasn't just said a couple of months ago. This was said at a speech on Tuesday. This was also said in a speech yesterday. Okay? We're ramping up the rhetoric. So imagine one of these school shooters out there going, you aren't going to stop me if I decide to do this. You're going to need this, this, and this. Right? Exactly the same thing. So where's the FBI? Why hasn't the FBI knocked on the door, as he says, at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and said, excuse me, sir, we'd like to talk to you about your rhetoric here, about your threats to other people, namely 330 million of them. Is Joe telling us with these comments that he plans on using F-15s and nuclear missiles against the American public? That's traitorous. Why hasn't he been tried? Why hasn't he been arrested? Why hasn't he been questioned? Okay. God knows if you or I or any of the other 330 million people in this country started threatening anybody, your next door neighbor, even with the rhetoric of, I'm coming to your house and you're going to need more than a 45 to stop me. we'd have the police on our doorstep saying, "Excuse me, sir, why are you threatening your neighbor?" Right? Where are the attorneys general in this country? Where are the state's attorneys? Joe Biden is a citizen of the United States, no better than any of the rest of us. Okay? He has the same rights, the same responsibilities as you or me. He has to obey the law exactly the same as any other citizen of the United States. I don't care that he's president. That does not give him the right to break the law. The military is not his personal defense force. He is not a king. He is not a dictator. He is not a tyrant. Well, no, I take it back. He is a tyrant. Okay, or at least thinks he was. He wants to be a dictator. He wants to be king. But we don't have that around here. Right? If Joe wants to threaten the public using weapons of war against the Americans, he's got a big problem. Okay, first off, law states he cannot use active duty military, okay, against Americans. Can't happen. The National Guard is controlled by the states, okay? And they said, well, he can commandeer the National Guard. No, because at that point they are federalized troops, which at that point it is against the law to use them against the people of the United States. And the reservists are the exact same way, okay? The only way that the National Guard can be used as any sort of police force is under state control. Otherwise, it is a violation of the law. Where are, I forget Merrick Garland, okay? I mean, you know, he's as much of, thank God he's not on the Supreme Court. I mean, he makes Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor and this new bimbo look like rocket scientists, because, Merrick Garland is a complete idiot, okay? He's a political hack who doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. But why haven't the state's attorneys general, why haven't the state's attorneys opened an investigation or filed suit against Biden for these comments? Not against the government, not against the Democrat Party, against Joe Biden personally. He is, like I said before, a citizen, just like you and me, subject to the same laws that you and I are. Regardless of his political position, that does not give him immunity from breaking the law. Where's the prosecution? I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. Really, Joe, I hate to tell you this. It ain't going to take a whole lot more if you decide to do this. There's 330 million of us, and the military ain't your personal plaything. Pinball out.